Right, we're recording. Okay. So in today's episode of eCommerce One, I've got an amazing guest, Greg Gifford. Now, Greg is somebody that in the agency, when we're doing SEO, local SEO projects, and we are looking for that new angle, that new thing, or a bit of inspiration, Greg's somebody for the last sort of 5 years plus that we've been sort of all over in a sort of SEO way and looking at what Greg's been doing. I've seen Greg speak at various events throughout the UK. And Greg, as far as our agency is concerned, I'm concerned, is the #1 local SEO expert that's out there now. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Greg. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, happy to be here. Love doing podcasts.
Fantastic. So
I'm on a podcast, brother. Sorry.
No worries. So I think it would be great, first of all, if you want to just do a quick intro or an intro and introduce yourself and give us a little bit of a sort of history of your career, what brings us up to today.
Sure. So currently I'm the vice president of search at Search Lab. We're a boutique local SEO agency based out of Chicago.
Yeah.
But I have a varied history in digital. So I actually, way back in the day, just kind of self-taught myself with computers.
Yeah.
And then back when Flash first came out, I started playing around with making some Flash websites for a few friends. And I was a film major back in college. And so the way that Flash worked at the time, all the people that were designing Flash were trying to recreate static HTML, but it was timeline based, which made it more like editing movies, which having the film background made sense to me. So I made really, at the time, people thought they were cool. You look back on it now and you're like, oh my God, that's like the textbook example of what not to do with Flash. But I made really cool, bizarre sites because of approaching it from a different way. So then I started making a lot of Flash websites. Then I kind of combined forces with a guy that I had done a website for who was a commercial photographer, and we started a whole agency doing Flash websites and Flash hosting, and pretty quickly figured out that the Flash sites weren't showing up in Google. So we just figured out how to get them to show up, not knowing anything about SEO or what the rules were. It was super black hat, evil stuff that we did. So I actually started in SEO as an unknowing black hat.
Yeah.
And so then did that for a few years, and then things didn't go so well with that partnership. And so I ended up leaving and went and got a job as head Flash designer at an automotive software company, and kind of really quickly rose through the ranks to become, in charge of the marketing and doing all that. And then we wanted to start selling SEO as a service, but through the stuff that I had learned doing all of the evil Flash stuff. And
roughly when was this when you started